Guys, many of you have been thinking of buying a new smartphone under 15 to 16,000 rupees or $250. So today, in this video, let's have a look at the top 6 smartphones which I think could be perfect under this budget. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The very first smartphone at number 6 is for those people who love the bezel-less displays. It is the LG Q6. Yes, it resembles a lot to the LG G6 and is a successor and the lower budget variant of the LG G6. The LG Q6 comes with Snapdragon 435, 3GB of RAM, 32GB of internal storage, Android 7.1.1 Nougat out of the box, and a 3000 mAh battery. 13 megapixel is the rear camera and the front camera is 5 megapixels. Many of you would be thinking, why am I recommending this smartphone with a Snapdragon 435 under the budget of 15,000 or 16,000 rupees? The reason for this is for only those people who want a good display on their smartphone. Practically, this smartphone is not worth that money. But if you want a great display, a great bezel-less smartphone that looks good, then you can buy the LG Q6. Then we have is the Honor 6X. It has a 5.5-inch Full HD display and it has a Kirin 655 CPU. 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage, Android 6.0 Marshmallow out of the box, and the camera is the main talking point over here. It has a dual camera setup. The first one is a 12 megapixel camera and the second one is a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera, which will help you take artificial bokeh effects or portrait shots. Then we have is a phone which you guys will think is pretty much old. It is a Lenovo Z2 Plus. And the reason for this phone being in this video is that because it is a powerful device. It has a Snapdragon 820, 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage. It came with Marshmallow previously but is now upgradable to Android Nougat. It has a 3500 mAh battery and the phone is very good. It has a 13 megapixel camera and the front camera is of 8 megapixels. I think this phone is powerful enough because even the S7 and the S7 Edge came with the Snapdragon 820. And I think this phone is cool enough. The only problem with this phone is the UI. The Vibe UI on this device is not very good. Then we have another Lenovo device, that is the Lenovo K8 Note. Again, a 5.5-inch Full HD display. And this guy has a Helio X23 Deca core processor. 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage. 13 megapixel is the main camera, and then you also get an extra lens which is of 5 megapixels. And the front camera is of 13 megapixels. You get Android 7.1.1 Nougat out of the box and 4000 mAh is the battery size. This is also a great smartphone and a great competition under this budget. The next one we have is the number 2 and the number 1 spot. I have combined these positions because I think whichever phone you buy of the two, you will be happy. It is the Moto G5S Plus or the Xiaomi Mi A1. Yes, the Xiaomi Mi Android One. Both the phones have been recently launched and come with almost the same specifications. The Snapdragon 825, the same Adreno 506 GPU, 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage. Xiaomi has Type-C charging as well. G5S Plus has Android 7.1.1 Nougat, whereas Xiaomi Mi A1 has Android 7.1.2 Nougat. Both will be upgraded to Android Oreo by the end of this year hopefully. And yes, Xiaomi Mi A1 will shortly be upgraded to the Android P, that is Android 9.0 as well. Both the phones have almost the same battery capacity. G5S Plus has a 3000 mAh battery, whereas the Xiaomi Mi A1 has a 3080 mAh battery. And now coming to the main talking point on these two devices, that is the camera. The camera on the Xiaomi Mi A1 is a 12 megapixel dual lens camera. Yes, both the lenses are of 12 megapixels. And yes, it will help you take some portrait shots just like the iPhone. On the G5S Plus, you get a dual camera setup again, but this time it is 13 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2. And again, this will also help you get portrait shots but also monochrome effects as well. The A1 has a 5 megapixel front camera, whereas the G5S Plus has an 8 megapixel front camera. The main talking point again is that both the phones have stock Android. Moto has always been providing stock Android, but this time Xiaomi is also with stock Android because it is the Android One smartphone which has been powered by Google. I think whichever phone you buy, the Xiaomi Mi A1 or the G5S Plus, you will be happy and you will not regret it. So guys, this was my quick video on the top 6 smartphones under 15 to 16,000 rupees or $250. Comment to us if you have any kind of problems or you want any kind of videos from us. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it. My name's Kev, you were watching Noise Tech, and we're signing out.
California dreaming about